You know, it's widely known that some entities have been attempting hard to nail the 17th Karmapa down since his escape from Tibet to India. His whereabouts remain undisclosed, so physically we are alienated from him. Then we're bombarded with rampant online opinions, unanimously stating sexual accusations by 3 women as facts, as if these people were omniscient gods, able to tell past, present, and future. One such jarring voice is made by Dakini Translations of Adele Tomlin. Its reports on seeking the Karmapa are written irresponsibly by the presumption of guilt, implying promiscuity, social ineptitude, and a luxurious lifestyle, all of which are carefully worded to doubt the very integrity of an authentic lineage guru. Even the Wikipedia entry of Ogyen Trinley Dorje describes the Vicky Han case as facts. Any attempts to modify or add information are blocked. You can try it out yourself. See if your IP addresses are blocked. We are made to feel deeply hurt for being betrayed by such one-sided narratives, and so, emotionally, we become alienated from him. For a more balanced view of the Karmapa's situation, visit truthkarmapa2.blogspot.com, and particularly read the articles disproving both out-of-court settlement and DNA test confirmation. The alienation doesn't just end there because naturally, people with past karmic connections to the Karmapa would still be interested to learn from him, that is, connecting with him mentally and spiritually. Mental and spiritual aspects are inseparable here because learning from the Karmapa, an authentic lineage guru, can harness our spiritual potential exponentially. Here is how an obnoxious intermediary, Dakini Translations, critically comes into play, supposedly to bridge our connections to the Karmapa, but actually to block them completely. Students with genuine renunciation will notice how different it feels to learn directly from the Karmapa himself, compared to Dakini Translations profuse in hearsay propagation. Rivaling the Karmapa's official platforms, Dakini Translations puts up redundant sets of the Karmapa's teachings in its personal website to appear to be affiliated with the Karmapa. Nobody knows whether they are copy-pasted from the official websites added with some slight modifications because they always lag behind the official ones. It works aggressively online to promote its own website through social media to outshine the official websites, posting new materials on Facebook every few days, and on Facebook groups repeatedly every few hours a day, leaving people wonder if it has nothing else going on in life but Facebook. Gullible people simply take it at face value. And among those possessing some slight interest in the Karmapa, they become ensnared in its oppressive dungeon by following its page. What can go wrong by following a page promoting the Karmapa's teachings so selflessly with its unrivaled diligence, like, intrusive, overly frequent postings? Here comes the stage in which an uninvited spiritual rehabilitation initiates. Once you successfully complete the rehabilitation, you become fully alienated from the Karmapa and Vajrayana Buddhism. So, what is the spiritual rehabilitation by being a follower of Dakini Translations? So first you identify with it by belonging to the same Karma Kagyu lineage, bound by the same root lineage guru, the Karmapa. Identification is really the first step to pry open your level of receptiveness. Second, most of its posts are about promoting the Karmapa's teachings, either texts or short clips. This signals another yes in your mind, opening further your level of receptiveness, accepting it as your Dharma friend. Third, since you find its posts about the Karmapa's teachings helpful, you begin to approve it in your mind as a sound Dharma practitioner. It seems genuine in promoting the Dharma, especially with its active posting every few hours on the Facebook group to remind us of the Karmapa's teachings. Your current level of receptiveness has become, wide open with no barriers, turning into complete acceptance and full approval. Fourth, she suddenly pops up some disturbing news on certain gurus. For brevity, we'll focus on the lineage guru, the Karmapa. Based on the presumption of guilt, it shares with you speculation of the meanings behind what he does, where, with whom, why, and so forth. The themes revolve around promiscuity, social ineptitude, and luxurious lifestyle. At this stage, it is setting an example to your subconscious mind that it is possible to learn from the Karmapa and to doubt his integrity, or to learn the Buddha Dharma while casting negative judgments on gurus who propagate the Dharma. You are experiencing cognitive dissonance, kind of a clash of two sides of ideation. Because to you, either we view a person respectfully and learn from him, or we distance ourselves from a corrupt person not worth following. This is the crucial stage where you decide to either unfollow or continue following the page. If you view the Karmapa as an authentic lineage guru, then there is no point in entertaining doubts about him that corrupt your own practice. Besides, if you come to Dakini Translations for the Karmapa's teachings, why the need to learn from an intermediary if you can trust your own judgment by going to the official websites? Let's say, you pity its desperate attempts to seek attention by frequent postings, you decide to continue following the page. Fifth, it continues posting the Karmapa's teachings as usual. You begin to wonder, didn't she just view him negatively? But she still posts his teachings, which means she still is respectful towards him. Maybe her prior remarks were just plain curiosity, nothing remotely serious or doubtful. Notice how you are questioning your own sanity due to the high level of receptiveness to its posts prepped from stage 1 to stage 3 prior, and now rationalizing and dealing with cognitive dissonance. As a normal human being, you adapt by rationalization when you cannot tamper with either side of the dissonance equations. In this case, by being a follower of the Dakini Translations page, you surrender your freedom of choice and let it impose its perverted choice on you. You cannot choose to either abandon the Karmapa or view him completely positively. Dakini Translations will never abandon the Karmapa because he is the most lucrative source for exploitation to maximize her donation earnings. It will also never view him purely positively because its goal is to replace him. At least in your mind, you will see it as superior to all lineage gurus in every way possible. A realized Dakini who protects the teachings, and you should be careful not to go against it as it aptly warns, because you are not enlightened to tell who is who. Well, do you think a true bodhisattva, or a real Dakini will easily leak her identity to the public? What for? Their ultimate purpose is selfless service, not enforcing compliance nor gaining respect, which by the way is essentially what Amara would be particularly obsessed with. But it doesn't simply end there. You hardly notice that Dakini Translations always slips in its personal observations, not reflections, whenever sharing its versions of the Karmapa's teachings, and places the teaching transcripts at the very end, ripping you off the opportunity to construct your own meanings, wiping off your personal meanings, superseding them with its impure interpretations, thus forcing you to assimilate its views without you even knowing. Your mere consumption of its seemingly Dharma posts amounts to your drinking venom mixed with little Amrita, let alone its fully toxic non-Dharma hearsay propagation. As long as you remain associated with Dakini Translations, its venom influx will continue to act full force under your radar without your consent. At this stage, subconsciously, you have condoned its blatant denigration of the gurus, disguised cunningly under the harmless label of critical thinking, while in reality, your doubts and suspicions are being meticulously groomed to blossom steadily by siding with its presumption of guilt. Sixth, it repeats the cycles of stages 4 and 5. Any remarks on stage 4 are meant to erode your confidence in any gurus in Vajrayana Buddhism. Even though you think you learn from her posts on the Buddha Dharma, including the Karmapa's teachings, somehow deep down, you have well assimilated its presumption of guilt paradigm through your own adaptive rationalization that you can no longer view anything related to the Buddha Dharma with pure lenses, but cynicism. Before you realize it, you begin to truly notice the disintegrity of all lineage gurus, that they are just humans full of flaws. What else can we expect from anyone like ourselves? At this point, you view gurus as the same as everyone else, plain humans who mouth past masters' teachings, nothing special. Be assured that your spiritual path is forever blocked, with no progress down the road despite how much you practice. Congratulations, you have successfully undergone total spiritual atrophy. Not rehabilitation as it turns out. Shouldn't you celebrate by kneeling to Mara Adele Tomlin and kissing its toes? What has it done to you? How gracious is it to bestow such irreparable damage to your spiritual destiny? The presumption of guilt is a dangerous, crippling mindset to embrace. When you begin to see the flaws of someone, it is very difficult, if not impossible, to unsee the flaws. This is largely due to a phenomenon called confirmation bias in psychology. We usually accept reality the way we want it to be, not the way it actually is. No matter how many pieces of convincing evidence I present to you that our lineage gurus are pure and innocent, if you inherently presume people to be evil and guilty, our arguments inevitably stand moot as our viewpoints diverge farther away from each other. The way you see it, things are rotten to the core. The way I see things can never be any purer. I see you being a cynic, you see me being in denial. Viewpoints are essentially tight to our sense of self. Some people feel secure by uncovering the flaws in others. Some people feel secure by learning from others' innumerable positive qualities. Both are valid, but which viewpoint leads to a sense of growth and utter fulfillment? I will leave it to you to decide. As mind is the subject of transformation, in your quest for enlightenment in Vajrayana Buddhism, you only have two choices, to trust or to abandon. There is no in-between. The in-between is essentially the same as abandon. Based on past historical enlightening stories such as the unbelievable story of Milarepa and Marpa, only those who place absolute faith in the authentic gurus achieve supreme attainment. We do not condone any misdeeds done in the mask of being a guru because there are indeed many fake gurus and lamas. The 50 verses on the gurus taught by the Karmapa, available freely on his official websites, will be especially helpful for us to be more discerning. But carrying a cynical mindset to judge an authentic lineage guru, such as the 17th Karmapa Orjin Trinli Dorje, essentially means you don't trust the nearly 1,000-year-old Karma Kagyu lineage enough to trust the very person who preserves and propagates the lineage. If you choose to give in to whatever appears or sounds to be convincing, and yes, all appearances can be orchestrated, rather than probe within, and trust your inner wisdom to discern what lies beneath all these appearances, you are vulnerably subjecting yourself to covert manipulation by any hidden external entities. Life is a spiritual domain requiring your courageous reattunement to the long-stifled inner voice, not a worldly arena distracting your attention to the most eye-catching loudness. If you believe lineage gurus are ordinary humans irrelevant to your spiritual progress, that you need no one in spiritual attainment, I am not here to convince you otherwise. Perhaps it is time to seriously consider leaving Vajrayana Buddhism respectfully, rather than destroy the entire lineage. Why the need to be jealous of and stop other people who can have pure perception towards lineage gurus, benefit from their pure devotion, receive authentic blessings, and attain supreme enlightenment? If you believe lineage gurus are indispensable to awaken your spiritual potential, doesn't your heart ache to know our irreplaceable guru, the 17th Karmapa Ogyen Trinli Dorje, is distanced from you not by choice but by design? My heart bleeds as I pour this all out to you. Nevertheless, your karmic link with the Karmapa is boundlessly unstoppable, transcending time and space. It's time to take back your own power by trusting your inner voice. Connect with the Karmapa directly. Revitalize your heart link with the Karmapa by opening up to him, talk to him, confide in him, feel him, sense him, ask him. And most importantly, trust him. All the important answers you have been seeking will reveal themselves in time. Be patient, be perceptive. Be assured that you are in safe hands. Karmapa Kenno.